You are listening to episode 33 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You said that actually, like
yeah.
you thought that
I was thinking, I was like,
I didn't think you were doing well?
Yeah, I was like, how am I doing well right now? Yeah.
You just need to open up
good.
with a little heart to heart. At the beginning. Just, how's your heart, Justin?
My heart's good. Before we even jump into the show, I wanted to say I watched Thor another time, took my kids, and I like it better. The rating still is a Let's Go.
So a little bit of an addendum to
last episode. My rating still is the same. It's still just a Let's Go, which is a good rating. Like, if everything was a Let's Go, our world would be better, right?
Yes.
But some of the stuff was easier for me to digest. That being said, I still maintain my issues.
Listen to episode 32.
Listen to episode 32.
To hear those.
So anyways, but yeah, we're excited to talk about comics and comic books and things like movies that are about comics and TV shows about comics and people who just say the word comics like, hey, you like comics? I think so. You know.
Indeed.
All right. How you doing? I was rude. I didn't ask you. How are you doing?
Yeah, you did. That's how we opened the show, man.
Oh, and you just didn't say it. You're like,
you said, how you going, dude? How are you going? How you doing, dude?
Oh, I'm going good.
I'm going good. Here's it.
How you going? Going good.
That I still think every time someone asks how you're doing and you say good,
you can punch them in the balls.
No, it makes me think of like it was like one of the first couple of episodes, or maybe the first episode of the show 30 Rock.
Oh yeah,
where Tracy Morgan is like, ask the guy how you doing, and he's like, doing good, and he's like, no, you're doing well. Superman does good.
That's right. I think that was like season 2, right?
No, that was like...
Was it season 1?
I think that was like right toward the beginning.
It was the one where...
I always think of that, and I always try to make sure that when someone asks how I'm doing, I say, I'm doing well.
Someone's going to like pull
Someone's going
to pull a 30 Rock on me. Too.
Superman does good. You doing well.
Oh, man. That was
check your grammar, son. That's how that scene went.
Yeah, but it was good. I feel like it was later in the series. Only because it was like Twofer was like...
Yeah, it's when he was like
on people.
First, like it's when they were first meeting Twofer.
Oh, it was when they first met him.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like he was all proper and everything, and and so Tracy just kind of showed him up. Anyways, I believe you.
From YouTube, 30 Rock. Dude, we're just trying to verify here.
Verify. You know? We don't want any people that get upset to throw any bricks through like pizza places or anything like that. We don't want any type of adverse reaction to the things that we say on the show.
Yeah, dude. That was like the first couple episodes because Tracy Morgan has like the weird little mustache and goatee going on.
Gosh.
Oh, man. That show was great.
It was great.
I loved 30 Rock.
What was that? Well, it was... he was upset. Remember that one? He's like, they didn't give me the French fries that I didn't ask for.
Yes. Do not look at me in the eyes.
All right, man. So let's get into our ratings. We love to talk about our comics and our movies and our media and stuff. So we like to rate it as well with the don't go, the go, the let's go, and the gotta go. Right, Matt?
Yes, we do.
So in honor of all the crazy news that came out this week with Brian Michael Bendis leaving Marvel Comics and going off to DC to sign an exclusive deal, meaning he's only writing DC. You want him to continue to write the Defenders, Justin? Not happening. Will I be dropping in Defenders? I don't know.
Will you continue to talk to yourself?
Possibly.
Okay.
So anyways, in honor of that, we are going to rate... Well, not rate, but we are going to describe our rating system with Brian Michael Bendis series or storylines that he wrote. So I'm going to start, or are you going to start?
Yeah, go for it, man.
So are we going to start at the bottom? Like a don't go?
Sure, if you want.
Yeah, let's start at the bottom. So my don't go would be Age of Ultron.
Ooh.
Not the movie, but I would just give that a go.
But the
series,
storyline.
it was whatever.
Yeah, the miniseries. I would say the storyline House of M.
Ooh, House of M.
Was not my...
But that was the mutants, right?
Yep.
Like
Scarlet Witch kind of went crazy, and then out of that was No More Mutants.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Now there's mutants again.
Yeah, but there's mutants again. They're not going to not have mutants.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree.
So those above that, we have a go.
A go.
And what would you give a go to?
All new X-Men. You know, I really liked it, but it just kind of after a while, I feel like it didn't go anywhere, and I dropped it. So, and I'm not an X-Men guy. It started off as like a let's go.
I've actually read and seen very little, but what I have, like, I've liked it, and I think it's okay. I would say the latest Invincible Iron Man run, creating Riri Williams as a character, I'm like, yeah, that's all right.
It's just a go.
Yeah, cool. I'm like, it's not a bad thing, but I'm not like super bought into it.
Yeah. All right, moving on to a let's go. I'm going to say Powers. That was a fun book.
Ooh.
I bought that for a long time.
I was going to put Alias / Jessica Jones as a character in general in that. Okay. I think that's a let's go.
Dude, he has contributed to pop culture. She has her own show.
Yeah. Man.
There you go. Kristen Ritter. How you doing, girl?
He's done a lot. Brian Michael Bendis created that character.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So then we have Gotta Go.
Gotta Go.
The highest rating we can give. What Brian Michael Bendis?
Daredevil, dude. He did like 50-something issues with Alex Maleev on Daredevil, and it's some of the best Daredevil out there. That first, like, once Kevin Smith took over in like 97 when it was started with Marvel Knights and on to the pretty much the end of that kind of run.
Yeah, it was around like 2001. Brian Michael Bendis started writing that.
I believe so. It was such a good. It was a good comic.
And he did a lot of issues of.
Yeah, I think it was like over 50, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was him, and then it went into, I think Brubaker took it on after him.
Yeah.
And then it went into Diggle, and I forget who else did
Mark Waid eventually.
Oh yeah, but Mark Waid did 2 runs that were like reboots, not reboots, but like renumbering of that, and so and then
that's true.
On to today, where we went back to original numbering. $5.95.
Well, here you go. That's not confusing at all.
Not at all.
Gotta go. Michael Bendis. Wow. I can't. Brian Michael Bendis.
There you go.
Jeez.
We call him the BMB.
The BMB. Gotta go. Of his stories and creations, for me, Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, there you go.
I was a little, I wouldn't even say hesitant. I was more just like curious. I'm like, man, like I just like Peter Parker so much as a character. Having someone else be Spider-Man, like how's that going to go? And I have loved not only the comics I've seen or I've read, but the cartoons I've seen. Like anything I've seen Miles Morales in has been awesome. And I think it's a character that's well worth the addition to the Marvel Universe. And I think he's great.
Cool. Yeah, I would agree. If I didn't pick Daredevil, I probably would have put Miles Morales up there. Just because I was same as you, like, what the heck? Like, why do we need another Spider-Man? And it's just such a good book. It's such a good character.
Yeah. And I think that's a good transition into talking about the news.
Yeah.
This could be our first
breaking news.
It was yesterday, right?
Yeah, it just came out yesterday. And it was like, okay.
So we're recording on Wednesday night.
This
happened yesterday.
Yeah. So crazy, dude. Crazy news. That for Brian Michael Bendis, to me, he feels like a Marvel lifer. Like that's a
even
big
though
deal.
he's been there a long time, but it hasn't been like a long time. Like it's been since 2000, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a long, consistent time. You know what I mean? To be at one place consistently, creating new characters. I mean, doing like really big impact stories. Almost 18. I mean, it's almost 18 years. Like we're basically done with 2017.
Yeah.
And to think, not only is he going to start writing for DC, but it's an exclusive DC contract.
Yeah. It's that's the only thing he'll be working on. So I'm really like curious, like, man, what is he going to jump on? But like, first off, I think just kind of go over his career. Like he started off like in the indies, he was doing his like early work. He did this creator thing, Jinx, and he did that with Oni, or I think he moved to Oni, so I'm going to be a little fuzzy. I think he did it with Caliber. He did Sam and Twitch. He did a little bit of that stuff. For Image, yeah. And then he jumped on to, I think he took Jinx with him, and then he did Torso, and then I think he jumped into Powers after that. And so
he started writing. His start at Marvel was Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
in 2000, and he, excuse me, Mark Begley was the artist with him on that, and they did 111 issues.
Wow.
And according to comic book news site, so I mean, it's got to be the truth.
It's always the truth.
That makes it one of the longest partnerships in American comic book history.
Wow.
Just them consistently, like,
just
you never
them
see
together.
the same creative team together anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's really interesting. Like you said, like Daredevil was a notable run. Co-created Jessica Jones with Michael Gaydos.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was like 2004, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think
05?
so. I think it was a Max series because there was Luke Cage's Max series, which I have a few issues of. I think I have like 4 or 5 of those.
That's
deals.
true. You had that series that it was almost like another imprint because it wasn't
called
subject
Max.
to
Marvel
like
Max.
the comics code.
Yeah, because I think they had a Punisher one, the Alias, and then I think Luke Cage, and I'm not sure if there was anything else in there besides those few titles. So yeah, they did that. And he kept doing Powers for a while, like Powers. And I think Powers jumped from different publishers because I think it was at Oni and it went to Image, and then eventually under Marvel's like.
It was one of Marvel's imprints eventually. Yeah,
under whatever that deal was.
So I think you just look at like, so you see like the kind of iconic things the things he accomplished, and you don't see someone that steady. I feel like that much.
Yeah.
Even if you think of like the really big guns, like they've kind of moved around a little bit, and that's kind of normal. You know what I mean? Like Jim Lee, you think of like over the years, like being at Marvel, going to Image.
Jim Lee coming to DC was a big deal.
Coming to DC was huge.
Like, I mean, the Wildstorm deal.
As the editor-in-chief.
But when he was like going to do Batman, like on Hush,
editor-in-chief? Yeah.
It was like, what? That was a big deal. That was like.
So him coming back into that, I mean, this feels like that kind of an impact.
Yeah.
And you look at like, so you co-created, Brian Michael Bendis co-created Jessica Jones, co-created Miles Morales, and co-created Riri Williams. Like those are pretty big ticket things for Marvel over the recent years. And I think this does a few things. We talk about like the impact of him doing this, right? So I think on one side, like you said, like it's really makes me curious to be like, whoa, what is he going to do with DC characters, and who is he going to write? What's he going to do? I would imagine they're going to put it on something big because this is a big deal, big news. They're not going to put him on like some random side.
They're like, we're bringing back Justice League Detroit.
Yeah, probably not going to be that. But dude, I can picture them being like, dude, Brian Michael dude,
B&B.
B&B. It sounds like a bed and breakfast.
He's probably comfy and cozy.
Brian Michael Breakfast. But I wouldn't be surprised to see an announcement to say like, hey, he's writing a new Justice League run. Or I don't think he would do Batman or Superman. It doesn't seem like those are going to change anytime soon. What if he did Trinity?
Like Tom King's on. Tom King is going to be on Batman for a long time.
I hope he is.
As he should be. I would love to see him on Justice League. He's really good with voices. Like, what I was going to say is his Guardians of the Galaxy was fantastic, which inspired the movies. Like,
he does group dynamics really well because the current Defenders book is. Oh gosh, may they rest in peace.
Yeah, that's the one I'm like.
Is really
I got 2
great.
issues left, probably. Yeah,
it's so good. I feel like to see someone get the voices right of each of those characters is pretty great.
Yeah,
granted, he's written long runs and / created 2 out of the 4 of those characters.
Yeah,
so.
I think that people there's a sect of fandom that's like, oh, I don't like what he does. I have no issue with anything he writes. Like, he's a really engaging writer. Like,
I've
even
liked some of the ideas.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, I didn't like
me.
Age of Ultron. I didn't like the idea of that, but the interactions were cool. Like, I liked the interactions between like Luke Cage and Spider-Man and Wolverine in that story. But I was like, it didn't do anything for me. But I still read the whole thing because it was enjoyable. I didn't like what was going on. If that makes sense.
I think he does dialogue well.
Yeah, he does.
I think that's what he gets right. And because that, like, dude, I would really be curious to see what he would do with Flash. Mm-hmm. I feel like he could really elevate that to something really fun. I mean, even to thinking like, dude, I wonder how he would write some of the supporting cast, like to see how he would do like a character like Wally West or something. Like, I would like to see that. So I think we have that, right? We have the things of like, what does this open up for Brian Michael Bendis to take on?
Yeah.
But then I think also his the gap that he's leaving at Marvel, I think also gives space for new people to kind of rise up too. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of people, especially with the characters. Like he's done a great job writing the characters. He's done a great job creating characters, which I think. I mean, you look at like his three main ones that he's co-created, they really bring an aspect of representation to Marvel. And it seems like very intentional, but also something that's like, they seem like fully fleshed out characters. People really dig them.
Yeah.
They're cool to see. And people, obviously, they're doing successful, so people want to see it. And I think there's definitely people that would like, man, he's done a great job. How cool would it be to see like a woman write Jessica Jones, you know, people of color writing, you know, Miles Morales or Riri Williams. And I'm like, man, like that's just, it's such a cool thing to see. Like he has a legacy and like using his platform and like his place at Marvel to bring in those types of characters, which then like, I think to see him not, it's almost like he's like not hogging it, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, this has been really great. I'm going to do some more fun, creative stuff and new people are going to come along and take along these characters. I think that's the other aspect that I think this does. It creates this vacuum for someone to fill.
Yeah.
And dude, I just think there's going to be, and if we're going to be honest, I mean, it's really weird to see this because I think a year ago it would have felt even different, but I think Marvel needs that right now. Mm-hmm. I feel like DC, we've seen with DC Rebirth for the last year, like, oh, they've kind of like figured some things out, it seems like, to where Marvel is just like, what are they doing for a lot of their stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, he's one of the architects there, so he's out. Like, you know.
Yeah,
like
it's just crazy.
Him and then who was it? Matt. I haven't seen anything from Matt Fraction lately, but I know he was like one of those voices.
That's true. He was a big one for a while. I have his Iron Man like omnibus.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think you got it for me.
I think so.
It was really great.
His Iron Man was really good, but man, it's a gap, dude. Like
that's
going back
big gap to fill. Okay, you know the other one that I think is a big part of like key component of Marvel's storytelling and their universe in the comics is Jonathan Hickman.
Oh yeah.
And did you see the most recent news today that
there's
a rumor that he's been offered a contract with DC as well?
No, he was actually
I feel like that's too much.
He was like not anti DC, but he said
that's
some
the
comments
rumors, man.
A few
I'm just saying
months
it's a rumor.
back. No, maybe like a year back or something. Of like, no, man, I don't want to write for DC. Like he likes writing in Marvel's world.
So I mean, whether that's true or not, it's fine. But I agree. Like that does leave a pretty decent gap.
If they did, then they would. DC would. DC's got some great writers right now, some great artists. And, but
Agreed.
you know what? Maybe they need some good writers, better writers on some stuff. Like maybe
on some stuff. I would
Flash,
agree.
Justice League.
Man.
Justice League needs to have an all-star writer on that book.
Yep.
Like, and here's the thing. Like, I think
I don't think that's fully hit its stride since Rebirth. That's one of the few books that I feel like has not.
Yeah, it has not.
At
like, I don't think Rebirth was good. Justice League Rebirth was good at all. It was not compelling. In what's his face? Who was doing it? Oh gosh, David Cassidy, John Cassidy. He was doing it, right?
Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy.
Sundance Kid.
And the Sundance Kid on inks. There we go. So, you just a tracer. So, yeah, man, I like his art, but yeah, his stories were not like...
It just wasn't super compelling.
It was like, okay. Like,
when you can put down an issue of a comic book and you're like,
yeah,
it's fine if I don't ever read that again.
Yeah,
like, that's not a good thing, dude. You want to get people back in there.
Yeah, especially a book like Justice League's got to have like the top tier talent. And for me, I feel like what they would do with Justice League, they'd probably, if he comes on, they'd probably just relaunch with the #1, you know.
Dude, yeah.
Which I don't want them to do.
That'd be a bummer.
Or unless they just go back to original numbering or something like that.
Yeah.
Justice League 1000.
Where's the Martian Manhunter been for Rebirth? Hasn't been around, right?
No.
I'm just saying, dude.
That would be amazing.
Let's reboot that lineup of Justice League.
Oh man.
It just
makes me sad, dude. He hasn't been around for Rebirth, has he?
That's true. But that means they get to reintroduce him the right way, man. I'm fine with that because New 52, Martian Manhunter is a little weird.
He sucked. What was he in? He was part of like
Stormwatch?
Yeah. Oh man, dude. We gotta save that for episode 52. Because
yeah, we'll get to
come
that
back to
eventually.
that. We'll come back to that.
Any other thoughts on the Brian Michael Bendis news?
No, I'm excited for what he's going to do. I'm excited for just to see his output. I love we had a tweet today that was like, which one's Clark? It's kind of funny. Just like...
Yeah. I saw
like,
his other tweet that said like, he was just grateful for how supportive everyone was. And he's like, and none of the big news has even come out yet. He was like, just wait like until you guys hear like what's going on. And I'm like, oh crap. How long are you going to keep us waiting for that?
Yeah.
Because I want to know like, and even like, here's the last thing I would say about it is it's pretty rare to see how amicable like this has been, this transition. Like you have people from DC welcoming him, obviously. You have him excited to do it, also talking very fondly about his time at Marvel. And then you have Joe Quesada also being super encouraging and being like, yeah, like we love Brian. Like it's been awesome. Excited for his new endeavor. Like you don't see that a lot in comics. Like it's either usually super quiet and no one gives any details on why a transition is happening, even within the same company. But someone leaving, someone that big, like usually you would expect like there's like some weird behind the scenes drama going on.
Yeah.
But it seems that that's not
like,
the case.
Yeah, I'm going to do something different.
Because his contract probably was up at some point, right?
Yeah. Man, I just hope, I hope he doesn't come on board DC and like, I'm going to throw some crazy wrenches into, like, that's not what I'd like to see. I'd like to see somebody, okay, I'm going to join your universe and I'm just going to tell awesome stories. I don't want to be like, I'm going to make...
It's all we can hope for, man.
Turn everybody into robots or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. So a little bit of other news.
Yeah. So earlier this week, there was a big, like, storm on Twitter about Disney and Fox having a deal. And as of now, there's no more talks. It's kind of what it was. But I just thought it was interesting to bring up, like, there was a sect of fandom that was like, I don't want this to happen because if Marvel takes, like, the Fox X-Men films, then we won't get anything interesting anymore. It'll just all just be cookie cutter. And I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that, because part of me, I can see that, but in the end, I was like, I just want Marvel to have access to all of their characters and weave in what they want, you know?
I'm kind of somewhere in the middle on that.
Yeah.
To where I get like wanting to include them in that universe, or at least elements of that. I think the biggest thing that people were thinking was Fantastic Four characters, honestly, even more than X-Men stuff, just because I think there's a deep appreciation for what the Fantastic Four, not just who they are as characters, but what they mean to comics in general.
Yeah.
And to see that done well and see them represented well. And I understand that aspect. And I would be like, yeah, like part of me, I'm like, having Wolverine in an Avengers movie, like that's kind of cool. Like, you know what I mean? At the same time, I think I more fall on the side of like, I don't want one company like running everything.
But that's their stuff. You know?
I'm just saying, like, I don't think that, like, I think already with like how they do with Disney, Star Wars, Marvel all being under one, I get it. Like, there's still their own things, and I don't think you see a lot of like hands-on, you know, meddling from Disney specifically in those different IPs. But I would be leery. Like, I feel like another one, like buying out that stuff from Fox, would be a step towards like something I don't feel fully comfortable with. I'm like, that's almost too much, and I kind of want it to be separate and to have different studios doing different things with the understanding that, like, of course I would want to see some of those characters interact with each other, like as a fan. The
stuff that, like, I'm like, oh man, aliens going over to Disney would be weird, you know, stuff like that. The franchises they hold on to.
Yeah.
But the plus side I saw in it was the original Star Wars trilogy can go to Disney, and then they can release like unaltered.
Please release
of that.
the original ones.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then, because that's just money being waited, you know, to be made and exchanged and given.
Yep.
But the Marvel stuff, I am of the opinion they just need to have their hands on their toys, man.
Do you think it's because those are Marvel properties? Like, why not just have them all under Marvel Studios?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Like, it'd be like, okay, well, Warner Brothers, you guys can't have Batman anymore. Why? Well, we're gonna sell that off to, you know, Sony. Like, well, that makes no sense. Now we can't use Batman. Like, those are key characters. Like Wolverine is a key character. And
I just like the idea of having different kind. I feel like Fox, you're seeing like better or worse. You're seeing with like Logan, with Deadpool, with New Mutants.
Yeah, we haven't seen New Mutants yet, though. You can't put that in there.
I'm saying the idea of what it could be, though, that it is something different. Because I will say, like, I like the Marvel Studios stuff. It is all starting to feel kind of similar.
Well, that's why they need mutants.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "Oh man, we got mutants. We can do this, and we can bring like the Thing in, and we can bring in like the Marvel Illuminati. If you bring in freaking Reed Richards and stuff like that, you know, and Professor
they could
X.
just bring Inhumans right in.
Oh, gosh, they'd be like, "Yeah," they'd be like, "We don't gotta do Inhumans no more." You know what? The mutant gene took over. It's the House of N truckers. Yeah, that would be. I just think it would be a great thing for them to bring in, and I think the one franchise that they can take over would be Deadpool. Deadpool can exist because he breaks the fourth wall. I think that would be the one character they can say, you know what? Ryan Reynolds is great as Deadpool. He's born to play Deadpool.
Right.
Deadpool is a moneymaker. Let's bring that over. It has to. That would be the one they have to do. Everything else, all the X-Men stuff they're doing, you know that Kevin Feige has ideas. And he's like, he's got a little X-Men like manila envelope. And it's in his little drawer.
Probably.
And it's keyed. He's got a little X key. He pulls it out and he opens it and he slides it out and it's in the back. And it's like, here's what I would do. Here's who I would cast as Professor X, as all these people. And here's the thing. Like the internet's like, oh, Hugh Jackman will come back. Because Hugh Jackman one time said, if I can come back and be in the Avengers, I'll do it. He's not
Sorry, man.
A, he's not coming back.
That's not going to
B,
happen.
that was just the thing he said because he knew Fox would never sell
right.
X-Men back to Disney. Disney is going to get their own Wolverine. If this happens, because you know what? This is freaking crazy news, and who knows? Tomorrow you can be like, oh yeah, they sold it overnight. They handshaking deal, you know?
Yeah, or they come up with a deal similar to with Sony, where there's still interaction with the characters, even if they don't own them.
So, anyways, we'll see. I just thought it was more interesting. I was like, there's a lot of different thoughts on it, and
yeah, I think I just see it from a fan point of view, and then I see it from like a movie making point of view, to where I don't want the same people kind of controlling it all.
Yeah. But
yeah,
there's
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I can go without like another Iron Man movie for the sake of a X-Men movie. You know?
Yeah.
And so,
anyways. No, that's true. And I think so that kind of leads into talking about another movie. We talked about Shazam being cast. Gosh, was that last week we talked about that?
That was last week, yeah.
Man, everything's moving so quick. This movie's about to start filming probably too.
Yeah, so they've got to get it all in there.
They've cast Billy Batson and Asher Angel.
Don't know who that is.
Hey,
but he's a kid.
You know what? It's a kid.
He's got a face. A kid. Got some eyes. Kind of looks like Zachary Levi. I don't know. I don't think so. Somebody said his eyes look the same. So okay.
Okay, so the more interesting, and this isn't so Billy Batson. That's confirmed that he's cast. So potentially being cast in talks. Mark Strong to play the villain, Dr. Sivana.
Yeah.
Which I'm about.
I'm about that too.
All the stuff that Mark Strong can be in, please.
Put him in everything.
It makes it a little sad because then it's like, well, guess Sinestro's not coming back anytime soon.
Well, yeah. I mean,
did you ever see him in? Do you ever see the Guy Ritchie movie Rock and Rolla?
Yeah, yeah.
He was great.
He's great. He is great.
He's great in everything, dude.
Everything. His Sinestro was the best. Now, here's the thing. They're going to just recast Sinestro at one point. Like,
I know.
None of that stuff that existed before is coming back.
I know.
Because it just creates confusion.
He was just so good at it. That's the only thing. They can scrap everything else from that movie.
Yeah.
And keep him, and that would be okay.
I just watched that last week. I didn't watch the whole thing, but my son was
Green
like,
Lantern.
Can you watch Green Lantern? I'm like, sure, buddy. Like,
I still don't think it's as bad as everyone says it was.
It just wasn't bad. Good. It's a go. It's not. It's like a.
It's a barely a go.
It's a don't go and a half, to be honest. Like when you were because of the letdown.
I haven't watched it in a while, so
because of the letdown. But man, Hector Hammond's terrible in that movie.
So bad.
He's awful. And then freaking Fart Cloud Parallax, like that's terrible. And then it's got like, you know, and Ryan Reynolds isn't terrible as Hal Jordan. I have no issue with him, but it's just so wishy washy. Like I'm scared, I'm not scared, and then like
Sinestro was great, Kilowog was great, Tomar Ray was great.
Kilowog was okay.
Really?
I didn't love him. I didn't love him. He didn't. Tomar Ray was great. I thought Tomar Ray was great. Kilowog was okay. The Guardians looked terrible. They looked like the worst CGI ever. I'm like, I would rather you just hire an old dude. Freaking put Betty White up there, paint her blue, put her in a chair.
Did you just call Betty White an old dude? Don't disrespect her, man.
I mean, just get some like old folks, throw them up there. Wilford Brimley, is he dead? The oatmeal guy, put him up there. Like Ed Asner,
The diabetes.
all the old guys. All the old guys. Morgan Freeman, and just paint everybody
Wilford
blue.
Brimley. Oh my
There you
gosh.
go.
I just went, that's the best. Oh my gosh. Now I'm just thinking of all
Dude,
those
can you
people playing the
imagine?
Guardians.
Can you imagine freaking Morgan Freeman as Ganthet?
Oh my god.
You better get busy, Willin. Oh, get busy dying. That's my Guardians. That's who.
And that other
real
Guardian's
guys.
just going to talk about his diabetes
That's right, dude.
and oats.
Oh man. Okay, but you know what was funny about that is Taika Waititi is in there. Remember, he plays Hal's buddy.
Oh, he plays Sam.
So yeah, it was really interesting. I was like,
Taika.
I told my kid, I was like, hey, that's the guy who made Thor. He's
That
like,
wasn't a good representation of Hal Jordan's powers either, by the
No, it
way.
wasn't.
All the constructs he did.
Yeah,
The Hot Wheels track was kind of cool.
I didn't
but
care about that.
kinda
That was
lame.
funny. I always had issues with like, how can he shoot fire out of his Green Lantern ring? Like, that's not what it does.
That's not
At least
what it
shoot
does.
green fire. Like,
Right?
like,
Something.
did you run out of green? Did you run out of green
We
CGI?
just need to move on from it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
sorry,
a sad
but-
thing to focus on. Anyway,
Oh,
Mark
there you
Strong
go. Mark
could
Strong.
potentially be in the Shazam movie
Please,
as a villain. Yes,
please, Mark Strong.
Mark Strong is a villain.
Dr.
Every
Sivana.
time.
Cool. Shave his head. Like,
Yeah.
little Mr. Mind action.
Oh, dude.
Oh, and did you? Okay, sorry. This touches on the world of Shazam. So, like, some of the rumor yesterday came out was like, oh, The Rock might debut as freaking Black Adam in Suicide Squad 2.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a rumor.
is
I saw it
weird.
and I was like, that's a weird. Like,
I also
that's
read
weird.
that the co-writer of the Rampage movie is writing Black Adam movie. So
Oh boy,
I don't know what to think about that.
I don't know.
We haven't seen anything for Rampage yet. I loved that video game. I don't have
Dude,
high
that
hopes
video
for it as a
game-
movie.
That movie was freaking. I mean, that game was fun, dude. Just
Yeah, just punching
breaking down
buildings.
stuff.
Yeah.
I love all of that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, anyway, any other news before we talk
Now
about
we can
some
jump.
comics?
We can jump in the. This is a Let's Go comic show, not the Let's Go news show.
Yeah.
So let's get into some comics.
Are you the show about hammers
Mm-hmm.
or the show about comics? That's not quite the same.
The
I was trying to link it back
Are you
to.
the show about?
Are you the
hammers?
show of hammers or the show of comics?
I think we are the show.
We're the show. So let's talk about some comic books, dude.
Comics, dude. I love comics.
Do you want to start? Or you want me
about
to?
it?
I can start on this one.
Yeah, go for it. Start.
So Flash number 34, got that
Yeah.
today. I'm the title of the storyline is just kind of weird. Maybe I'm just being
What's the
a
title?
dorky like 13-year-old mind. Black Hole Rising. That's just funny to me.
That's how you get out of freaking. That's where Thor was. He had to go through the black hole.
The Devil's Anus
Devil's
Rising.
anus.
So I know I talked about it a couple weeks ago. That issue of the Flash that was a tie into metal was just like super disappointing. Pretty sure I gave it a don't go. This one jumps back up to a let's go.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. Characterization was good. I thought dialogue was good for, especially for what I've kind of come to expect from Josh Williamson. And different person, Kristen, I want to say Moretti? Moretti?
Let's see.
Sorry for butchering your name. I know you're listening, Christian. That's fine.
Mordecai.
What's up, man? Sure.
Morrissey?
Moreci. You guys fill in the blanks. Anyway, I think it's an improvement in art from what's been going on there. But yeah, solid issue, and it's definitely, again, like I always say, if I finish the book and I'm like wanting to read what's next right away, that's a good thing.
It's a good sign.
And that's what I want.
The art's
I've been digging
really
it.
nice.
I like it. So I give that a let's go.
Pop Mon is on the art. That's weird because Pop Mon illustrated Wade's Flash a long time ago.
Really?
And I did not like his art.
Interesting.
And this looks a lot different.
Is that him doing that?
Yeah. This is his art.
I misspoke.
That's all right.
Whoever did the art. I thought
Yeah.
it was Christian doing it.
No. It is Pop Mon. And interesting.
So
Wow.
it's good.
Sorry. That
It's
like
a good issue.
threw
It
me
brings
off.
back a character that they kind of left the story thread kind of dangling like a little ways back and pick that back up. I think that's a great interaction. You have some Kid Flash in there.
Yeah.
You have some cool developments that I think moves the story forward in a nice way. And yeah, I'm here for it. I'm excited for Flash number 35. So that's and being a Flash appreciator, I like that feeling coming out of a Flash comic and not just
As
being
you
bummed,
should be.
you know. Master of Kung Fu. I'll talk about that again. So Marvel Legacy is doing some of these one shots.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So it's just a one. I
Yeah,
didn't know
part
that.
1 of 1. Shang-Chi's Day Off.
Nice.
Master of Kung Fu number 126, written by CM Punk.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was written by CM Punk. That's kind of. I like that it says Punk.
Yeah. So here's what it is for me. Strong points: the art. The art is great.
So hold on. This is
really
just it's a one shot.
It's a one shot.
It's really confusing because it's issue 126.
Right? And then part 1 of 1. And then Master of Kung Fu. And then there's a lot going on in that cover, dude.
Yeah.
But the art style itself is really cool. I haven't fully figured out how I feel about this comic, so I'm going to give it a go.
Okay.
It feels really kind of cheesy on the nose stuff. And I can't decide if it's in a way where I like it, like Bug, or where I don't like it, like Man-Thing. You would like there... Okay, here's the thing that feels weird. It feels like it's almost trying to be, at times, a parody of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is, in turn, a parody of something else. And so you even have... He talks about what's going on in the story, and he talks about rat trained in Kung Fu stealing his pizza. That's how on the nose this is. So I don't know if it's like just in a fun, likable, goofy way, or if it's just kind of dumb.
I just like that on one of the pages he's saying, let's go.
You know, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
There you go. So,
but yeah, Master of Kung Fu, I'm going to go ahead and give that a go.
A go. The art's really cool. I like it.
The art's really great. I almost feel like the writing doesn't deserve the art in a way.
So it just ends. I don't have any frame of reference.
So it just ends, and he gives a thumbs up to the audience.
And he's got an ice cream.
Has an ice cream cone in his hand.
Is this kind of like a pilot maybe for... He doesn't wear that costume in this entire comic.
Yeah, he doesn't look like or wear the costume on the cover or in the Legacy little box, which is, again, different. So it's like a lot of different things going on. It's a little odd to have what feels like it's not being consistent. So there's that.
There you go. All right.
Let's see. What other comics?
I was thinking we need to do a segment where we talk about... It's just called Matt Blows.
Whoa.
And it's like, because you just blow your money on random comics.
I do.
You're like, like today, Matt was
let's just try it, dude.
I just want to try this. And so it's just kind of funny. Like,
I want to give comics a chance, Justin.
No, I know. It was actually really funny. Like, Matt was like, he was so conflicted today. He was like, I kind of want to, like, I think I want to buy this. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'm just like, I'm getting what I'm getting.
Yeah, and Justin's like, I'm not getting any extras.
Yeah, I'm getting what I got. And Matt wants people to thrive and have careers. I'm just like,
so Justin hasn't.
Yeah, right.
Justin hasn't read it yet, but Batman White Knight #2 went back and got that issue, which was released last week.
We just heard so many great things last week.
It is so
number
good.
1 was really good. So of course,
I think this is better than issue number 1.
I'm going to read it tonight.
There's like, oh, dude, there's a few moments of things that he does, which here's the thing I like, because I think Grant Morrison's done it, Scott Snyder's doing it, and maybe it just happens with Batman a lot, where people like incorporate, like in a meta kind of way, storylines and elements where it's like callback to Batman the Animated Series, where it's a callback to whatever. Do you know what I mean? And they're pulling things from all those things where, like, if you know the reference, you get it, and there's kind of like this deeper appreciation and satisfaction in it. And I think he's doing that while telling a story that feels pretty new. Mm-hmm. And it's just incredible to look at. Like, you get to see some more of Batman's rogues gallery and how he designs them. And I would say like 99%.
Wait, Batman designs them?
No. What Sean Murphy is doing. And how he designs, like his design for each of those rogues gallery that you see, like 99% of it, I'm 100. Oh gosh, I love it.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. Justin's going to read it, but
I wish I was able to read it because
I'm hesitant to give a let's go, just because but I'm like, this is probably a let's go and a half for me. It's a really great comic.
All right, man. I can't argue with that.
What else did you get this week, Justin?
I got Batman Lost, which is basically the DC Metal issue of this month.
Yeah. So no DC Metal number 4. That's next month.
It's Batman Lost, and it was super weird, man. It wasn't bad. It was really interesting. It was just weird. It was so weird that I almost was like, maybe I just need to go through it again, because I'm like, man, it looked like it was going through
I read through it twice, and that helped for me.
Okay, because there was parts where it was going through Return of Bruce Wayne stuff. It looked like, and
a few different references to that. This was a very you see Grant Morrison's fingerprints on this one a lot.
Grant Morrison, what are you doing in my comics? So
he's just totally just flipping through those pages.
I love all the story. It has got older Bruce Wayne. He's talking to his granddaughter, and on the shelf there's Nightfall, and there's Court of Owls, Lonely Place of Dying, Case of the Chemical Syndicate, the first Batman story I ever told. It's got all these little fun little deals.
There's a lot of stuff to catch.
Dark Victory, Public Enemies. So
those are all of the stories on his bookshelf.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a Sherlock Holmes kind of. Black
Mirror, Under the Red Hood, Daughter of the Demon. So let me see: The Man Who Laughs, Tower of Babel, Long Halloween. The only thing that sucks about it is you can just tell that they just typed everything out and threw it on the side of these books.
Whoops!
It's just not.
It wasn't drawn.
Yeah, it was not drawn on.
I will say, how did you feel about the art? I liked the. I liked the chain. Okay, so it was all over the place, but I feel like they changed it in places that made sense.
Yeah, I love Doug Monkey's art, but man, he did not have a good inker on this. I don't know who was inking his work, but when Christian
Which section of the story did he do?
He did the bookends. You can tell. I can tell it's his work.
So he did the Grandpa Bruce stuff.
You know it's Grandpa Bruce because he got that mustache,
dude. You know what sections I really liked was I believe it was the stuff that Yannick Paquette was doing with the case of the chemical. What was it called? Sorry,
Syndicate.
The case of the chemical syndicate. That was Yannick Paquette, and that looks awesome.
Yeah, his stuff's great. And Jorge Jimenez, his stuff looks really good.
Yeah, he did it looks like the caveman stuff, right?
Yeah, he did.
It kind of makes me miss reading Super Sense a little bit.
Yeah, his work is just really. All the art was really good in this. Just I wish they had a different inker on my guy Doug Monkey. There is a super cheesecake shot of Wonder Woman's butt in one scene. I was like, it seemed super gratuitous the way they did it.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah, it was based in it was when he's on the streets and he's just like, I'm Alan Wayne. He's like, Alan Wayne, and he's with the two cops. And then he's like, I fight crime with Superman and Wonder Woman. And he sees someone who's Wonder Woman on the street. And it's and it's done by Paquette. And it's good. It just seemed like a real kind of a silly scene. That's all. Totally.
I didn't catch that the first time around, but that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Thomas Wayne stuff in there. Yeah. You get the talk of Barbados. You have Batman and Harley Quinn out in space.
Yeah. So it's not a bad comic. It was just so much. I was like,
the teeth, man. Doug Monkey drawing those teeth, man.
I like his teeth, man. DougMonkeyTeeth.com.
Teeth man. You can call me Teeth Man. You know what was cool in the panels, when I went and read it again, the panels where you see, it happens a couple times, Bruce looking out onto Gotham, and you see some of the buildings are lit up yellow. Mm-hmm. It's in the shape of the bat symbol.
Oh, well, that's cool.
It's really cool.
I see that with the way the lights are shined on it.
Yeah, happens a couple times. I think a couple of those double page spreads with Barbados where he's talking. Story-wise, it's interesting to get to see Batman get to a point where he's basically asking, begging for mercy.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I feel again, with Metal, it just keeps upping and upping the ante more and more to whoa.
What the heck's going on?
Batman's really in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's super. It's a crazy book, man. Just read it. My rating for it is a let's go.
I would say the same.
I know I may have sounded I don't know. It's really deep. If you are a casual Batman fan, you're going to be super lost. If you're I think Batman's cool. He's going to be in a movie. Don't read this comic.
Here's what you need to do to approach these books.
Yeah.
what you need to do is you need to not approach it with like needing to understand every single thing that happens.
Yeah.
I almost think of it as having like, you kind of hold your hands out and whatever kind of sticks in your hands, like go with that, but let everything else go, man. Yeah. Don't try to like, you know what I mean? Like you can't just like pour over every page until you understand every single aspect of it. You just kind of got to go with the vibe of it and see like what sticks with you and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. But man, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I wish it wasn't $4.99 or $3.99. Or yeah, I wish it wasn't $5. That was it.
Wish it wasn't the price that it was.
It would have probably went up higher. Like, gotta go, because that's a chunk, dude. You know, that's like, hey man, you're gonna go without some of your lunch today if you go and buy this comic book. And that is where I wish that we could, you know, make these things a little easier to get.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. A fair point. I really enjoyed this. It's a worthy addition to the Metal storyline. I actually like the change up of artists for each section. I think it makes sense, and I think it also makes this book feel like it stands out a little bit from the regular Metal book right now too.
Yeah, which
I still love. I love Greg Capullo's art in that. But having other guys step in and draw similar things, like I think it gave it a really cool energy. And I think it's supposed to be disorienting. I really feel like that's the whole point of this issue, is to disorient you and kind of put you on your heels a little bit.
Well, it totally read that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I dug it. I agree. Let's go.
Yeah, it is a let's go. So read it again. Read it with the rest of the DC Metal stuff, which is it's just a big trip out, like freaking story. And so I'm into it. Okay.
All right, man. Last one to talk through.
I got Daredevil 595.
Oh, sorry. That's not the last one to talk through.
I got Daredevil 595, but I didn't read it yet, so
I'm sure it's great.
Yeah. Charles Soule is doing it, and he has been really good, like, on this book. And I remember I almost dropped it one time, and I was like, man, and I stayed in there. But Stefano Landini is doing the art on this right now, and it looks really good. And I haven't read it, so I don't know. But this is the first part of the New Legacy Marvel stuff.
Yeah, once they get to the renumbering and stuff.
Yeah, so it went from like issue 28 to 595, and so my Daredevil box is very, very weird.
Yeah, just jump straight to it.
Because I've got original numbering, and I go into like the stuff we talked about before, the Kevin Smith and the Bendis stuff, and
right?
Some of the Wade stuff, and then throwing in this. So yeah, it makes a nice little. At least it makes it more of a understandable, like, you know, like run. I don't know. Anywho.
Yeah. All right,
we'll see. Can't give it a rating, but good stuff.
But now getting to the last book we're going to talk about on this episode, Mr. Miracle, number 4. I think we don't need to belabor it too much, like as far as going into too much detail, because we're still like, this is a third of the way through this story.
Yeah. I just feel like it's been out a lot.
Oh, man. I love this book, and this might be one of my favorite issues so far.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so. I remember 2 issues ago was like, whoa, that was crazy and that was cool. And then the last issue we were like, that was real weird and I'm not sure. And this one for me, it's about just the timing, the comedic timing on a lot of stuff felt like it was back.
Gotcha.
Like you have the veggie tray, you have Scott like just casually talking to Light Ray with a Green Lantern shirt. Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm going to get coffee.
I like that he wears DC shirts. Like, he's wearing a Batman one the last time. And
yeah. And, I mean, it's really gratifying watching Big Barda just beat the hell out of Light Ray, too.
Yeah. Light Ray's always been kind of a jerk. So, it's
to see that was really cool. I think we're seeing more. I'm trying to pick up on, like, what are the things we're seeing, like, when we see, like, the cells on the page, like, go distorted and go a little wonky.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to, even this issue, I'm like, is there a consistency to what that means? Like, because it felt more specific this time in this issue. And not like, oh, this whole page is weird. It's like, no, it felt like there were, like, certain frames and certain cells that would, like, kind of go wonky.
Looks like the 6th frame. Right?
Is it the 6th frame each time?
I don't know.
'Cause it felt like it was kind of in the middle of the page one time and then at the end of the page time.
It's like the 6th frame, dude. On any time I see it, it's the 6th
that
frame.
Veggie tray keeps coming back. is the 6th frame?
Dun, 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 dun.
Then you have Orion finally like dips into the veggie tray at the end of the issue.
He's like, I'm going to give me some of these carrots.
And then I'm out.
All right, you guys. Yeah, it's the 6th frame, dude.
Really interesting, dude. The expression that he gets out of these characters is fantastic. I like that. I know it's kind of a random note on it, but Orion's helmet being white just looks really great.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it supposed to be white or is it just supposed to be really shiny?
It's probably just really shiny, but I don't even care, man. This art is so striking and just so compelling.
Yeah.
Like to pull me in the way it does in a consistent 9-panel grid. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited for this book. I remember when they were talking about like this book was going to be like announced and stuff. I was just excited about the idea of Mr. Miracle, and this is exactly the opposite of what I thought it was going to be.
You thought it was going to be like high adventure.
I thought it was going to be high adventure, Mr. Miracle doing tricks and going on adventures with Barda, and it's not that at all. And I'm glad it's not actually, because now I'm thinking, oh, that wouldn't have said anything. Dude. Like there's something that's being said here, and it's really like.
And this whole issue is super tense.
Yeah,
it's super tense. But then you have those shots of like Light Ray, Big Barda, and the random security guy squished on the couch together.
Yeah, which
is just like a funny picture.
Yeah,
or the package arriving like in the middle of this trial they're doing. Yeah, like, there's so many different things where it's like,
well, because he's like, I don't want to go there. I want to stay here because I got a package coming.
Yeah,
I don't want to go. Love that, I don't want to go to Apocalypse. We'll do it here. So he's on trial in his living room, and so going back to the
Mr. Miracle poster in the background, like
I love that. Yeah. Which has been, in every issue. I mean, it's
been
this
consistent.
whole comic. Like, if they made a movie of this comic, it takes place mostly in his bedroom,
a little bit on
the couch, and
on
then
Apocalypse.
On Apocalypse, you can film that in someone's garage, and the rest of it's like done like on the street corner. He's going out to get coffee. It's good.
Yeah, the random like tricks he's doing for people in between things.
Yeah, and I love these Jack Kirby freaking. Like designs, dude. Please, please, if you do any of these characters in a movie, use the Jack Kirby designs. Did I say that last week where I was like, if they could have done one thing for this Justice League movie, I'm not super pumped on Steppenwolf. Make Steppenwolf look cool, like Jack Kirby design.
Fair enough.
Anyways, I don't want to get back into that right now. But
you know what
everything
I love?
Looks rad.
Maybe all the moments I love like rotate around the veggie tray. But I love like when Orion's like, "Shall we begin?"
Yeah.
And then Mr. Miracle stands up. I'm going to get a carrot.
Yeah.
And then him sitting back down, like, okay.
Yeah. Like
while
it's
he's
really
like taking
casual.
a bite of the carrot. Like, again, the expression that Mr. Miracle has throughout this whole thing. Then you have Barda and her, you know what I mean? Like her rolling her eyes or like, you know what I mean? Like face palming, like it's just so good. And I think Justin and I were talking about it a little bit, like where you see like, it doesn't look like much changes. Like you'll have a few pages happen where it looks like the same cells like pasted over and over again with different dialogue. But I like the effect that has. Because for me, it makes it feel like almost like a rapid fire where like things are happening so fast, like they're not changing places yet.
Yeah, there's subtleties to some of it. But yeah, part of it's like this guy, Gerard's is just cut and paste on some of it. But it works with the story, Like, there's some subtle changes, but I'm like, it doesn't bug me. I don't know. Some people might go, it's just the same thing and the same dialogue. I don't know. It's good. I like what Tom King is doing. And
yeah, I think. What do you think is happening, man? When he like freaks out and goes after Orion and punches him,
he is.
Do you think he's actually infected with the anti-life equation?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think he is, or this is like a dream type of deal. Like this is a little more like it's going on in his head. He's having a war because maybe he did die, and this is him in like kind of a purgatory, battling out his feelings. I don't know.
It's the first time I've seen the main thing that was like whoa was not even him lashing out at Orion, but Orion's look in his eye after that happens. Yeah, because that's the first thing that's the first time you've seen Orion show like some concern or some like fear even. And that's when he, dips carrot in a little veggie dip.
Yeah.
and then says, all right, you're guilty, and we're going to execute you.
Yeah. See you in 3 days. Show up in 3 days.
And then just Big Barda holding him like that. Like which then gets to be like, that's a really deep, like sad moment that you end on there. So it's just, all the other episodes so many things
had kind of cliffhangers. Like, what the heck? And this one doesn't really have much of a cliffhanger, but it does say, hey, we're going to talk about Barda the next issue. So,
dude, she's rad. And the way he's showing her too, like, I feel like you can see sometimes, I don't know, maybe you can correct me because you've probably read more Big Barda. I feel like sometimes artists can like over masculinize her to where when I look at this like issue, I'm like, no, she's still totally like a babe, and she's like really, you know what I mean? She's been like really,
she's a
like self-aware of like, she's a robo babe. But you know what I mean? Like, and she's like self-aware of her height and different stuff like that, but she'll like totally walk into a fight. I don't know. It just seems like a really interesting characterization for her than what I've seen before. It seems like really one note previously.
I feel like most people have,
but I don't have a lot of experience. You probably have more.
I mean, she's always, she's ready.
Tough.
She's down to pound anybody when it comes to her husband. You know what I'm saying? Like she's protective, right?
Yeah.
But she's also
because he is kind of tiny compared to her.
Oh yeah. I mean, she probably has a good foot on him or whatever, foot and a half. She is also very caring and loving, and like I'm going to say this and don't take it the wrong way. She's very domesticated as well. She likes to do those things, the mundane. Like it's like, oh, I have a normal life, but I'm also this freaking superhero warrior lady from Apocalypse, and I'll probably kill you.
Yeah.
But I also got to like vacuum today, and like. She supports her husband type of deal. Like she's into that. But she can like flip in the warrior mode. Like, you know, did you ever read the, the Superman, I think it was Batman Superman comics where like Supergirl was reintroduced. They did an animated movie of it too, where they show up to Barda like, hey, we got to go to Apocalypse because freaking Darkseid kidnapped Supergirl. And
I think I remember watching the movie.
And so that was actually a really cool scene they adapted of like, she was like, okay, hold on, let me get my stuff. You know, because she was just like...
Because they're like living in the suburbs or whatever.
Yeah, she just took a shower and she was like, freaking Superman and Wonder Woman are here? All right. Oh, and Batman, you know. So like, hold on, take care of my stuff, and then I'm going to go. So I see her as being just...
She has like a normal life.
Yeah, she's a normal life.
It's not necessarily being like domesticated, but like she is okay with like normal life stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. So that's why I was like, I'm not trying to say anything offensive, but she will go into warrior mode like very quickly, and not in a like snappy way, but she's like, she knows when she has to like freaking kick all the ass, she will.
What, can I ask you this question? Mm-hmm. What do you think differentiates her from Wonder Woman in those ways?
Well, man, that's a good question, dude. I think Wonder Woman they both have similarities where they're both raised to be warriors. I think with her, she likes the escape part of it. Like, my homeworld is Earth. I just want to be normal at some point, you know? And I think she's able to, at least they show her having downtime, you know? Mm-hmm. Like they show her, I've always seen her to be normal. And I grew up reading the Justice League International books where her and Scott Free, you know, they delved into their regular personalities, you know, like, oh, you find out they like to go get takeout and all those types of things. And so you don't get that much with other superhero comic books.
To where you have like Wonder Woman, like, is like, oh my gosh, what is this ice cream thing?
Which was kind of a fun little moment in, you know, the movie and in the comic, you know, but
I totally get that. Cause you see that even in this book with Barda and Scott, like, just hanging out on the couch watching TV.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There you go. They're normal. Like, they're the couple that's going to, like, binge watch Stranger Things 2, right? They're going to watch those together.
Have a new god coming and saying, like, hey, you're going to be judged. And he's like, I'm going to get coffee.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm going to get I'll get a veggie platter.
Like, oh, yeah, we should get a veggie platter if they're coming to our house.
And so I think, like, if it was Wonder Woman in this situation, she would be in full, like garb like Barda was, but she was like, no, I will go to Paradise Island and I'll stand upon, you know, the throne mother, you know, and it would be this big like thing,
almost
like,
more like regal or formal, I guess.
And they're trying like, oh, we'll put on our gear, like our new god's gear, but we're just gonna sit on the couch, you know, which makes
I'm gonna eat a carrot sitting on. sitting like Dwayne Wade on this backwards chair.
Yeah. And so I don't know if I answered your question. Like,
I think so. I don't know if there's like a right question. It was more like I was curious.
Yeah, it's just it's my perception is their similarities are there as they're both like strong ladies, you know. Obviously her physicality is bigger. She's just like, if I had to say, like, if you were going to say this is a real life person, I can't think of someone who could represent her, like, you know, physically. Maybe, I don't know, Gina Carano or whatever the heck that chick's name was.
Yeah, but even her, I feel like would be like she'd be a little short.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. She's not like tall. So her, but if she was taller.
Because it just seems like, I mean, depending on how tall Mr. Miracle is, like Big Barda's got to be like pushing 7 foot tall. Yeah. Like she's like really tall.
Yeah, she is a tall.
She's awesome.
Powerhouse.
I'm glad to see more of her in this book.
Yeah, I really hope they do New Gods one day in a movie. I think that's just such a cool world to explore.
Oh, man. Yeah, and
it makes me like someone do it who understands the New Gods and understands the humor of it, because I think the New Gods is very intimidating when you see it at first. Like, what the heck is this? But
I think they're supposed to be weird, and you need someone that's okay with embracing weird, that.
But you have to, when you humanize them a little bit, like they're doing here. Like I think what Keith Giffen did and stuff with the Justice League International stuff made it fun. You're like, oh, when you make Orion when you put them in like real situations, you're like, oh, Orion, you're kind of a jerk, dude.
Yeah.
Like I like that, and so that's where I came to like the characters more. So, anyways,
totally.
That's a rant. I don't want to get into a rant at this moment. So.
All right. No rant necessary.
No rant necessary.
So what would you rate this issue?
So let's go. Again, this is going to be one of those things where you have to give the whole series a full rating, and it's been really good. It's definitely not a all audiences book in the sense of you're going to be like, what the heck?
This issue I was tempted to give it gotta go.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the last couple issues I've been pretty solid on Let's Go. This one I kind of wanted to give it gotta go. Just I just felt drawn into it so much, like by the art, by the dialogue, by like every aspect of it seemed to work for me. And it really seemed like a book, an issue specifically, that everything's kind of firing on all cylinders. So, but I will get a Let's Go because I don't want to go crazy, but it's a really strong, like it's on the top side of like a Let's Go.
Cool. I can, and I support your decision.
Well, thank you for your support.
No fights.
Thank you for your support.
Sorry, Matt. After that decision, you will not be on the next episode.
Well, it was a good run, everybody.
Hey, it was fun, guys. 33 episodes.
It's been real. Yeah. So speaking of episodes,
hey,
that is our episode.
That is our episode. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, Justin, where can they find you on the social medias?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at @J_Rocka. Hit me up there, and that's where I do most of my back and forth with people. So jump in the conversation.
Yeah, and I'm also on Twitter primarily, and that's at Matt Ritchie, MatTricchey. You can also hit up the show at Let's Go Comic Show. Check out that account on Twitter as well.
And Instagram. Yeah, and if you're old school, you can email us at Let's Go Comic Show on Gmail. Go to our website at www.letsgocast.com, where you can check out the Let's Go podcast and listen to some of our current ramblings there. But most importantly, if you like these shows, go to iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review and some nice comments. That helps the show out the most. But if you're feeling extra, generous and thrifty, and you want to be part of what we're doing here,
and thrifty,
hey, because there's different tiers. Please check out the Patreon site and say, hey, I want to go be a Patreon of the Let's Go podcast shows. So if you do that, that would be fantastic, because the show costs money, and if you're consuming it, throw down
every little bit helps,
Yeah, seriously. If you want to give $1, that would be amazing. Like if everyone who listened gave $1, it would be amazing. We would probably we'd quit our jobs and do this all the time. Me and Matt Ritchie could be like reading comics all day and making videos and all that type of stuff. So you can do that. You can just give $1. You can give $5. Say you're like, hey man, I'll give you $5. I will forsake a coffee today so that you guys can
You'll be buying us a issue of a comic.
Yeah, you bought me Batman Lost.
There
Thank
go.
you for buying me Batman Lost, friends. I'll tell you my thoughts about it and if you should buy it yourself. Thank you for foregoing it so that I could buy it. And then we can jump up to like, you can go to the $10 reward and $25. And if you're crazy and you're like, hey man, I'm gonna give you $50, you will be forever like remembered in my heart. And you will also get some Let's Go t-shirts for being in that tier.
Boom.
So, yeah, and you can get a t-shirt also if you give us $25 per month. If you pledge that, you will get a t-shirt 4 times a year. So how about that?
Wow, nice.
So there you go. All right.
Lots of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff. So check out, patreon.com/letsgocast.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
My name's Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.